Hi there, this is Zephyr, and I'm just playtesting my Diablo 2 Distilled mod for a Druid today. I've been doing some small, low-hanging fruit changes where I mess with things like enemy stats. So some of the changes I've been working on are just to fix some of the major global changes that I have touched. So I touched the armor and attack rating formula a while back in, I believe, August. And I've done some other very drastic changes to some of the formulas there. But I'm toning down a lot of my work on this mod right now. I may still playtest it frequently on the channel, but my goal is to work on some other stuff, more actual dev work and a little less modding. So that's just a fair warning that this mod may never become exactly what I want it to be, but that's fine because hopefully I can build something of value instead with that free time. So on to the juicy stuff. Things like Fallen have a drastically lower chance to hit you. And some of this is just, I have to play test it to figure it out, but so I just got this armor here, right? And I've got this shield here. Apparently it spawned with 2 armor. So chance to hit me 82% if I'm only 3 armor, which is from like the dexterity here. So if I'm not wearing any armor, if I'm naked, and then 53% chance, and then 25% chance. So you can see that just a few points of armor are going to make a huge difference in dealing with these mobs, and that's intended. That's meant to be very strategic and valuable to get those first pieces of armor. Obviously, it's random. This does no damage. Let's see here. Something in the past, I made Quillbeast shoot their missile faster. This is how they work in Hell difficulty. So Shaman Fireball is the same way. Shaman Fireball does 50% more damage now as well. So they're a little bit more threatening. Spells do require hit chance now, unless they're ground fire or like gas clouds or something like that. And so it doing a little bit more damage and also being sort of walkable. Like you can walk away from it. That is fortuitous. That is maybe a little too fortuitous. Triple resistances, gold find, vitality, and run walk. What in the world is this item? Half those mods probably shouldn't even exist yet. Okay, run walk is fine. Vitality +4 is fine. Gold from monsters is fine. But these resists of 13, 14%, I thought I made those so they don't spawn until like level 6 or so. The idea so that you actually get to experience damage of those damage types before you need to start resisting them. If the damage is not required to resist to deal with it, then it feels a lot better when you actually start resisting it. A long time ago, I made all weapons like 2 or 3 range. I think it's probably 2 range on the melee. So you don't miss your hits as much due to the engine. It also looks okay. Spears are better. They're like 8 range or something. Some other changes. Where in the world is this Den of Evil? Did I walk past a fork in the road, or is it really this far away? It is really this far away. Let's talk about the Druid shapeshift here real quick. We're going to go Were form. And Druid always attacked too quickly in Were form. It gets some kind of animation change. I was able to change the movement speed to be kind of similar to the normal Druid here, because I did reduce movement speed in this game. One thing is that this mana cost is actually quite large, and it is constant. It doesn't go up. I'm not a big fan of level ups causing skills to go up. I'm okay with like higher level skills being higher. I have a whole video about it. It's a major rant that I wanted to do, and did. But yeah, if we go here, you notice that I attack way faster. There's not a whole lot I can mess with that without doing some very specific like animation or code changes or something. I don't remember how that all works, and I'm trying to avoid code changes at this point. But yeah, I attack pretty quick here. A note here is that all I get is the Were form here. So I do believe I have faster hit recovery that's hidden in the game. It needs to be actually displayed in the skill. Okay, let's... Duration 40 seconds. That's not right. The duration on this should be like infinite. Okay, well, that's wrong. One thing I went through and did was things like energy shield is like infinite duration. It's like 25 minutes. This is supposed to be the same way. So I guess I missed that. I'll fix it in the near future. That's why we do playtests. And that's why I typically switch characters every time I playtest. I didn't want the Were form to... It's a state change, kind of like Energy Shield. It's really meant to be more of a activated passive, hence a state or modal shift. And I think that's fine to have it be permanent. Whereas in something like Ice Armor is kind of meant to be more of a temporary thing. Burst of Speed is meant to be a little bit more of a temporary thing. Otherwise, they're just kind of passives that cost mana. And I'm okay with some of that. So like, for example, this character class does start with 25 Vitality, 25 Spirit. So this class is actually a split between life and mana. And that's intentional. I've made every class have kind of a primary, secondary attribute system. And so the Druid, their primary attribute is basically life. It's basically life. But they're split evenly because, well, they need some dexterity and they need some strength to do stuff. So zombies are supposed to hit harder. I don't know if I actually got that in yet. And that attack speed is not what I want it to be. The brutes have not necessarily more health, but a higher range of health slightly. The zombies have higher attack rating, so if they do hit you, if they do swing, they do hit you generally. And that's kind of how it was, I think, in Diablo 1. You hit a zombie in Diablo 1, it would hit back. Obviously, they're super slow, but if you're melee, that's a threat. Well, let's see, what do we got? We got a lot of stuff here. The brutes have, I think, slightly better attack rating. And some of the higher level brutes are actually reduced in damage, but they also have a high chance of critting. which is intentional to make them a threat again. So just, I think it's like a 20% reduction in damage, massive reduction in armor class. So brutes have a mild chance to block 10% across the board. And then, of course, that now affects certain spells. So it won't affect Firestorm, but it will affect things like Fireball. So brutes and stuff like that have this chance to block. And it's not much higher. I think it was just a little bit higher. It's actually lower on higher level enemies because they were previously a lot of stuff scaled up. And I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the stuff that does scale to scale. It scales a little too fast or a little differently than you'd expect, and there's no way to really know that this low-level enemy has 6% chance to block, but the high-level enemy has 43% chance to block. So we've got a buckler here. Mana after kill. Well, I'm not sure if I need it, but I'll take it. Potions are probably still dropping way too much. Primarily, they're dropping from bosses probably too much. I know I already nerfed champions, but they literally become worth to sell, and that's not really my goal with the potions. They're meant to be expensive to buy is the idea, not good to sell. A 2-Spirit and Lightning Resist. I'm going to sell both these boots and the amulet. They're too good to not sell at this point. Like, the boots are probably not worth having sold. That was probably a mistake. Almost guarantee that's a mistake. But I just want the cash for the playtest at the moment, so it's not a mistake that's going to come back and haunt me. Werewolf and Werebear no longer give life. That number is absolutely wrong. Whatever that display number is. I don't know what I did there, but that is absolutely wrong. Let's see if the number is wrong. So 25% of 50 is probably 12, right? Yeah, so it is 12. That 0.5 doesn't get shown here. But the quest log there. The Werebear, and this is added as life. So this has changed. This is, I need to mess with the UI on this, but as a point of concept, this has changed. This now stacks with Oak Sage, like completely. So this is now a percentage of your max life as flat life bonus, which means that this now stacks multiplicatively with Oak Sage. And the idea behind this is that Vitality only gives 2 health per stat now. So shapeshifting is meant to be kind of a change in again state where you're either a werewolf or a werebear. And because of this change in state, you now have a higher base health. And so that says 32%. I don't know where that's even coming from right now. But this is the number that it's supposed to be. And it is doubled. Gains double life bonus from lycanthropy. So that needs like a space or something in there. Has increased block speed. So the werewolf has increased block speed. I think it always did. I think it also had faster hit recovery and faster run walk. And it's because the base model, Diablo 2 is animation locked. So the base model had these bonuses built into it. And that makes it really difficult to mess with it because for some reason, Werewolf has all sorts of special rules. I've tried messing with it before and it had some issues with actually getting it to to do anything useful. So yeah. Anyways, so at this point, lycanthropy is just health. It might in the future be different. I may actually do some skill editing in general for the mod because it is more low-hanging fruit and probably easier than a lot of the code changes I wanted to make. I just don't have the time to spend on some of the code changes I wanted to make. I did for a little bit there, but I'm trying to pull away and use that time elsewhere. So anyways, the duration thing is actually obnoxious here, but like that's just how I'm going to phrase it. I think this duration, because it's a state change, is just obnoxious. It's not actually useful. It's just annoying. It does block you out of most of the elemental skills, which I think is again fine. It's kind of meant to do that. A lot of the synergies are supposed to be gone. I haven't actually removed them probably in the UI. But like Fire Claws is not going to be based on you getting a bunch of fire skills. Fire Claws should be a standalone skill that you just use because it's utility. So you have Maul and maybe a point into Shockwave, a point into Hunger, and maybe 5 points or 10 points into Fire Claws, and you have this alternative attack that deals fire damage. Makes sense. It's kind of like fire arrows, right? I view Diablo 2 and the genre itself as more of a strategy game where you're making these decisions, and it's not so much about the action RPG combat. I want to see more of the Diablo 1, Diablo 2 style gaming to return, and I don't think that Path of Exile really captures that. Path of Exile captures an evolution of this, but I don't think it captures the original essence. So I did playtest Path of Exile 2. A buddy of mine and I played together off and on there, and it was fun. I really enjoyed Path of Exile 2, don't get me wrong. I only played the campaign. I didn't get into maps. I didn't get maps in the first game either. It's just not interesting to me at all. So I don't really have any complaints there because I just don't care. But can't complain about something I didn't really do. But the game is very, well, first of all, blocks suck. I really wanted the active block to work. I think active blocking is cool as a concept. It just didn't work. Enemies attack too quickly. They're using Dark Souls-like attacks instead of this hack and slash type attack, which is very actiony. Again, it's action RPG. It's not this kind of more old school Diablo strategy survival thing. Can't hit these. They must have a block chance or something because this is ridiculous. Okay, the Gargantuan feels good. The Spearwomen don't. Chance to hit Gargantuan Beast. That's better. Chance for it to hit you. I need to fix this. 10% is just not enough. The reason I put it at 10% was so that you didn't get into block stun. And I do like the idea of block stun still being there. It just needs to be different. But again, that's a code change, and I'm trying to pull away from those. So anyway, so Shaman Fireball does 50% more damage. So from, I think it's like 2 to 4 damage to 3 to 6. Let's see what these guys do. Like 3 damage in melee. There's an old code change that is working correctly currently, where melee has a 10% chance to stagger you. Let's see if I can do it. There it is. You saw the stagger. Faster hit recovery on that is insane. The wear form is probably a little overpowered. I I don't remember if that's me doing that or them doing that. I may have made it worse, like buffed it too much or something. So you can see that I am missing some attacks. I like that. Chance to hit the Fallen is pretty high. I think the Fallen Shaman has slightly... don't know what the Werewolf gains anymore, because he's supposed to gain like stamina in the past. I don't know what he gains now, and the numbers are all wrong, and the UI is all broken here. I'm just going to do this. I do think you have to recast it every time, sadly. No, I don't think you do, actually. Oh, no, yep, yeah, you do. 94 health. There we go. That's a lot better. See what these guys have. Chance to hit you 30%. Oh, geez. They hit me a bunch of times right there. They damaged my armor and my gloves in 2 hits. Something like that. Oh, these are broken. Don't really care. Drop me some gloves. No? Okay. That's a lot of skeletons. In the mod, skeletons typically have high armor, low health. So they're intended to kind of die in like one hit or something. Zombies are the kind of opposite. They have high attack rating. They're intended to kind of be annoying. And why does she have to have cold? Maybe not this much HP, but I'm also kind of not that high level. So a weird fact that I learned was that Blood Raven's like level 10. Which makes her in the base game really hard to hit. If I can get to you from all the bad pathing, I can't see my attack rating on her. No, I don't want Hungry Dead. No, I don't. I want... Game. Hungry Dead keep attacking me and I can't see the actual stat for killing her. My armor broke. How dare it. Slows from ice are reduced significantly in the mod. They're only 25% instead of 50% in the base game. 50% was just... I didn't even realize it was that high, I guess. I thought it was like 33 or something percent for some reason. But yeah, it's 50%, which is just insane. I don't have cold... I have a 50% chance to hit her. I don't have a cold length reduction in the game anymore. I do still have cannot be frozen on like uniques and stuff, uniques and sets and stuff. But I've removed cold length reduction from the game, as well as poison length reduction from the game in the mod. Come on. So close. Probably just equipping literally any other weapon would have made that easier too. Armor is reversed. If you've not seen my other videos, armor is reversed in the mods. So armor is absorbing the hits instead of giving you a mischance to the enemy attacks. It's not a mischance, it's a separate resource. So, as weird as that may sound, and after kill, dexterity. I guess we're just gonna go this way. She doesn't drop crap. Probably should drop crap. Apparently I can't go through that broken fence. That's weird. It's not broken enough. I need to find a waypoint. This is ridiculous. Or just more armor. This is painful. But this is the intention of the mod to some degree, is to bring it back into kind of more resource management. There we go. Some leather gloves. And they're ethereal. Means they're gonna break. Ethereal items have normal durability in this game mod. So you are not just going to find an ethereal item and then just it breaks instantly. Since durability is already reduced, I felt like that was kind of silly. Come on, hit him. We can do this. There we go. So yeah, he dropped like 5 potions. That's absurd. I'm okay with bosses dropping like a potion, and so my goal would be actually something like all bosses drop 1 item, something miscellaneous like a key, a scroll, potion, something like that. And then a third drop would be something like gold. So you get gold for killing unique bosses like that. And they have like a 10% chance, Bishibosh and Blood Raven and such have like a 10% chance in the mod to drop a unique. And then if that fails, a 10% chance to drop a set. And if that fails, a 10% chance to drop a rare. So there is a lot of farming power there. You could just farm Bishibosh over and over if you wanted to. But I want potions to be rarer, and I keep reducing them, and it just doesn't matter. The game says otherwise. And then I discovered Fine Potion also ignores the drop rates of actual stuff. So I have disabled Light Potions and Great Potions or something like that. Greater Potions. So there's only 3 tiers now instead of 5. I was debating on reducing it to 2 tiers, but then you get into this, you know, the first one sucks and the second one is really, really, really strong. So if you find the second one, it just solves all your problems. So I still wanted some kind of progression there. Keys don't stack anymore. I still say quantity though, but they don't stack anymore. So I want to make treasure chests that require keys just a tad better, which is technically a buff to the assassin who can open treasure chests for free, which is still kind of neat. So I don't think I'll remove that. Ooh, a short sword. What is this? Ooh, ethereal. So yeah, so she dropped 4 potions and an item. She should probably be dropping a potion and an item is the idea. And then lesser enemies would drop an item. So they could drop a potion or a scroll. That would be my goal for the game. Now, I'm not going in the direction of Path of Exile. I'm not doing this. Path of Exile 2 is doing this thing where they starve the player and then they don't give the player any rewards anyways. Don't really need these. I am starving the player, but I'm giving you really high chances of getting something good. So again, it's resource management. I want you to pull away from potions. I'm not a huge fan of potions as a concept, in the late game at least. I want you to pull away from potions. I want you to rely on mana regeneration, and I want you to rely on health regeneration or lifesteal or something else. Mana or damage to mana if you're like a barbarian, maybe. I haven't leveled up in a little time here. I also want my target farming possible. Ow. Ghost. Why do you have this much health? Oh my goodness gracious. Probably doesn't have that much health. I probably just do no damage to him. Okay, I think I might go a summon just to move through the area here. Ooh, or that. Or this. There we go. So now that we have this stacking bonus, let's get out of here. Now the Oak Sage actually makes sense to be used when you are a werewolf. These guys must have... I just have really crappy decks. Oh, I was trying to do... What button? What button is it? I thought there was a button that automatically pushes all of them in there. Oh, I probably have it disabled or something. I don't know. That's weird. I probably have it overwritten with my walk toggle. I'm using control for walk toggle. So I couldn't hit them. I put 5 points into dexterity, and now I can hit them. It's meant to be a lot. 3 to 10, 5 to 8. 3 to 10, 5 to 8. Let's do 5 to 8 and poison. I've got rabies already. I don't need the mana. And these guys have shields, and they have really high block chance. I'm okay with that. I wish there was a way to break their shields, though. Like a poise break attack, or what was shown in like the Diablo 3 teaser trailer back in the day. Anybody old enough to remember that? Well, if you're watching Diablo 2, you probably are old enough to remember that. Something of note is because any hit that you take, whether it does like 0.1 damage or 100 damage, has a chance to stagger you in the mod. For melee, it's 10%. For ranged, it's 5%, ranged physical. And that goes for players too, so archers aren't getting like tons of stagger on their enemies. And then for ranged spells, because they fall into some kind of default category with the hit class system, there's no way to actually know that they're a spell versus a ranged effect. Do I have a scroll? I do. I need to go back to town really badly. So this is where Poison Creeper would be really good because it would go past their shields. Same with Rabies. Giving different values to different skills, I think is really cool. And I'm not trying to just make it like a mana cost. Give me a second. I don't want to talk to her. She'll give me a person. I don't like people. No, I do. Okay, we got a club. Life stolen per hit. Oh, those are just strength issue. We got an axe with dexterity. Got a belt with some vitality on it. That's good stuff. That's mana per kill. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need these. And keys don't sell for anything. And I think I made it so people don't sell keys. You have to find them. Nope, still don't want to talk to you. Let's see here. Weapons, weapons, weapons. Prevent monster heal, attack rating. Don't have the strength for it. I do want to show this off, though, when I can get the strength for it. Spear would be fun. No damage, but... I haven't fixed this on everything, but I do want to make a lot of weapons not do as crazy high variable damage. 4 to 11 seems kind of fair in the early game, but 40 to 110 seems really kind of obnoxious, and I'd rather have lower damage. So, let's... Can I afford that? Do I want life regen? I want dexterity. I will give up other things here. Yeah, I'll buy the life regen boots. Should be good. Let's see, what else? What else is there? An older change at this point is that health regen is innate. You get 0.5% of your health per second. So right now I am getting what is that? 1.2, not quite 1.2 health regen per second. And poison's really good when you have bad attack rating. That actually works really well, because you just get the one hit in there and you just keep moving. And I didn't buy any scrolls, and I was making a mental note of it and then didn't do it. Okay, so the Druid is probably completely overpowered right now. For health reasons here. You start with a lot of health because of 25 vitality. And then I just put more into it, and then I can't hit for crap though, so I guess that's okay. Attack rating is probably something that should exist on the werewolf. Maybe even, yeah, probably attack rating. So like this one would be damage and defense, and then has bonus health. So this tanky, high damage, low attack speed. This should probably be something like attack rating. Go away. Attack rating, and it has like a built-in block speed bonus. I think it's supposed to give attack speed, but it technically doesn't. Something like that. I just know it calculates it weird. But I think normally it's supposed to give attack speed. I do want that potion. Probably rename the potions to be like small, medium, and large. Or small, normal. no name attached. Small potion, like small healing potion, and super healing potion. Gotta keep that super in there, you know. Super. I want to get to some of these later enemies. And you just died anyway. 12 damage over 4 seconds. All the charms, like the not charms, the poison jewels here, are over 4 seconds now. They don't change duration as you upgrade the the gem. Just put that out there. So it is 3 damage per second over 4 seconds, which is actually quite a bit of damage. It probably could be something like 10 damage over 4 seconds or something instead. 9 damage over 4 seconds. It's probably a little high. But the idea is I still want you to have to wait. And my gloves are broken again. Here we go. Let's see how fast I die to archers. Okay. 65% chance to hit me. What's one hit do? Can't tell. Probably too much. It probably just does too much, but they're champions, so it's hard to really know. Okay. Got one of these. Ooh, 5 dexterity. That'll be useful. I'm out of potions. Good stuff. Oh, there's one. No. There's one. It's amazing what 5 dexterity can do. Here, let's look at that. Yeah, so 65% to 75% is noticeable. And I think I need to reduce the drop rate of mana potions again. Because that's a lot of mana potions. Also for the sake of, I think mana should be a little bit more rare. They did do a change, and I'm not using any skills on the Druid because he doesn't have any at this point in the game, which is, it's probably a flaw, to be honest. It's just not a flaw that mattered 24 years ago so much. But, you know, I don't get Feral Rage until this would normally be 6, 12, 12, level 12. You wouldn't get this until level 12, which is just kind of like, it's not great. Let's see, that's 6% more health. It's not a lot. This would be 5% more health, but it stacks. Just gonna go Poison Creeper. Screw it. It's a playtest. My attack rating is garbage. We're gonna go more attack rating. See, Poison Creeper is doing work. 4 to 6 damage over 4 seconds, but it's AoE, so it's kind of good. Also takes a little bit of aggro. I know Project Diablo 2 made them untargetable. I like the idea of the spirits and the vines being targetable, but how they're designed is just weird. I did try to like lower their priority of attack so that the enemies don't really attack these, but the AI is not the greatest. It's an old game, and I don't think people were paying attention so much to the AI at the time of playing it. That one has one less socket, but 4 more defense, which is all the defense I want. So doing about 4 damage a hit, which is pretty fair. Not every class is going to have a lot of health. Find a rare. Well, rares are very common in the mod. Did he hit me? Oh, 44%. I mean, he should probably be able to hit me a little easier than that. This is a lot easier than my barbarian run because of the wolf's faster hit recovery bit. Archers are still a pain. And apparently, my hat just broke. I didn't realize there was a sound effect for breaking items. That's neat. I don't normally intentionally break my items. Ooh, boots. I'm sure the rare is better. Oh, one thing I was going to say is because of how health regeneration works, by just being in a werebear form. So werebear gets double the bonus of lycanthropy. Being in werebear form, ignore those crazy percentages. It's going to give you more of a bonus to health, right? So right now we're getting 35%, but we could be getting 70% if we were in werebear form. But we wouldn't have the faster hit recovery, faster block rate, and in the future probably attack rating bonus that is being given to werewolf. So it is supposed to be there. It's just not doing anything. Look at that. It's modifying it. It's just not there. But health naturally scales with, or health regeneration naturally scaling with health means that you automatically get some health regeneration by just simply putting points into vitality now. And same thing with mana. The base rate is increased. You get sorry, you don't get 0.5% health. You get 0.5% mana. You get 1% health per second. But mana gives, probably sell all those, but anyways, mana gives 0.5% while also giving 3 base. So in the normal game, your minimum was kind of 1, which was the Barbarian, which would mean 1 mana every 10 seconds. So just looking at this here. This says 4 life regen over 10 seconds. It's actually 4, the value 4 over 25 frames, so 4 per frame for 25 frames, which is 100. And then it's 100 over 256, because health in this game is in 256ths as a fraction instead of decimal. And then it doesn't quite come up to exactly 4 health because of the 25 second or 25 frame stuff. It's like 97% of that value. Okay, you're painful. My minions are apparently distracting you just enough for me to maybe kill you. Hawkhelm could be good. I keep forgetting to buy scrolls, though. So you get actually less mana regeneration in the mod than you normally would in the base game, from intelligence, which in here is called, or from energy, which in here is called spirit, as a reference to kind of being more of an intelligence-based thing. But every character now gets, I'm going to just do this to waste some mana. Every character now gets 3 mana regeneration, flat mana regeneration, as a baseline. This means that you get 3 over 10 seconds, which means that you at least have some capacity to regenerate, even if you have a low mana pool, such as the Paladin or the Barbarian or the Amazon or something, especially the Barbarian, who has a really low mana pool. That block chance is annoying. Okay, we leveled up. Some stuff over here getting poisoned, but not dying. Can we get enough strength? Oh, that's going to be a lot of strength required to do that. Probably would be easier to just show it off on a Barbarian. That would be an interesting state of affairs. What if Werewolf gave dexterity and Werebear gave strength? That would be unique to be sure. Oh my goodness gracious. So you can imagine how dangerous this game would be if I wasn't popping potions all the time. And that's kind of the goal here is I want to find this right balance between being super dangerous and the issue is I'm melee and all my gear keeps breaking. Which is interesting. This wasn't happening to my Barbarian. Oh, right, because I had the hit chance reverse, so I was getting staggered all the time on the Barbarian and not tanking it to my armor. Everything was wrong. We're going to take a point in a Werebear and go into Werebear form. Why, hello there. Oh boy, that is one slow attack. Yeah, I can't do that. That's just way too slow. And it's going to have the same issues as werewolf attack speed calculation issues. I believe these black rogues actually have higher block chance in the mod by just a little bit. And they wouldn't be hitting me if my armor wasn't broken. My armor wouldn't be broken if I remembered to actually grab town portals. Mistakes have been made. But so far, the enemies feel a lot more fair. Before, they were literally like stun locking me and all sorts of weird stuff. Nope, don't want to talk to you. There we go. Let's repair everything. We can wear that. In some tests of this mod, I've noticed that health regen feels really powerful, and then in other tests, it feels really, really weak. And so there's some definite questionability of the balance there. Ah, gold and magic find. Ah, we're going to be rich. Poison creeper and all attributes. Attack rating, but negative spirit. And light radius. I hate light radius. I think it's a cool idea. It's never been used in a useful way. Oh, we don't need that. Level 8? Probably because of the +3 attributes roll. Just too much. We're just going to sell all of our potions that we don't need. And these are actually really valuable to sell because they're so expensive that they actually sell for a lot. Actually, they probably shouldn't be that expensive. Oops. No, I don't want to sell that. I want to buy potions. Oh yeah, and belts just give all 4 slots now. So I just bought like 1,600 gold worth of potions there. That was probably too much. But you can see how if you were actually playing this and potions weren't dropping like crazy, you'd have to go back and buy them. It'd be very Diablo 1, where you have to actually like go back to town because you're dying, instead of just simply go back to town because you want to sell everything. Faster hit recovery. Anything in here that gives me strength. No, nothing in here gives me strength. Oh, 3% life stolen. Let's grab a different character here. He has 53 strength. He has some gold on him. I was playtesting him the other day. He did find this. It actually wasn't very good because I'm maxing out Axe Mastery, so it ended up being actually kind of bad. So, but you can see that I have like 61% physical damage bonus from axes, so the axe is doing quite a bit of work there. What I wanted to do was, let's buy a cheaper one here. This counts as an axe, right? This is allowed. I wanted to see if this still worked. Let's just test it in the outer cloister, because that's where we just were with the other character. Anybody? Anybody? There you are. I thought this was working. Did I disable it at some point? %100% chance to cast. I must have deleted the skill that it was supposed to cast. It's supposed to do a it was a test thing. It's meant to be like hammers, I think. So one of my ideas was to give hammers a small explosion when you smack something. It's just basically a cleaving effect. And apparently I put it on these at one point like years ago. I haven't, this mod is old. Started it in 2020, I think, maybe 2021. It's one of those two. It's the damage on 1 to 53. That's another weapon I need to fix. I don't like those ranges. I don't think... Did I make it invisible? Nope. Nope, it's definitely invisible. Watch people just fall over when they're clumped together here. Oh, I've got something that's giving me thorns. Get that off here. You can't test things when you're doing things wrong. Yeah, so it is hitting. Range on these are maybe a little excessive. The damage on that was pretty good, though. That's what I wanted to show at the end of that, is I don't like the idea of every weapon having cleave, but I think it's a neat idea to have some weapons have some kind of cleave, although maybe that one is a little bit excessive. As it was just like destroying everything in its wake. But it says an evil force because it doesn't have a UI target there. But so that's the default. Anyways, that was just something I wanted to show off. The idea would be that it actually carries your weapon damage into a Nova, and the Nova is just invisible. That's what's actually happening there. The Nova is not very big, so enemies do have to be pretty clustered. But this is intended for something more like hammers and not for the Bardiche here. And with that, I think I playtested the Druid about to where I wanted him to be. The enemies do feel a lot more fair. I nearly died here, though. All those mages. And this is probably about the point in the game where you should start getting some resistances. So that was a big pack of garbage there, but we do have some resistances, cold and fire, some basic resistances in there. Probably going to remove some of these smaller resistances again. I don't like these 5%ers. They just don't, they're not interesting to me. So they won't clutter up like an early amulet. If you get an early amulet like this, so it rolled 6% all resistance, which it shouldn't be rolling that early probably. And then it rolled 12% cold resistance. 12% cold resistance is fine, in my opinion. But it's just one of those, it probably shouldn't have rolled all resistance so early. And one of the things I really would like to do in the long run, of course, is maybe 10 years, 15 years from now when I'm really, really old. But maybe I could have a Diablo-like. It won't be pretty, but maybe I can build my own Diablo-like and try to embrace more of a Diablo 1 style, the survival durability horror game where you're being starved for potions, things are breaking, kind of this survival sim top-down game. I like to joke sometimes because I love Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 for what they were, but I also love things like Grim Dawn for what it is. And it breaks a lot of these things that I loved about Diablo 2. So I also love a game I love to talk about. Spiral Knights, which is this very top-down arcadey game. And so I joke about sometimes that there are two wolves inside of me, and one of them is an arcade Diablo that I would love to make, and the other one is the survival Diablo that I would love to make. So we'll see if I ever get up to any of those in the long run, because, well, those are pretty lofty goals. So if you tuned in for this episode, this is it for this character. I did the werewolf. I'm not going to be doing it again. This other character is another test character that I did. So these characters are probably going to be deleted in the next week or so due to, character slots and whatnot, but also just due to testing. So that's it for this character. And I will eventually do like a full run again, but I want to just do tweaks here and there. So it probably will be closer to February before I do a full run again. I'm just kind of trying to do little tweaks here and there to kind of get the balance a little bit better for specifically a melee run. Melee is going to be the hardest thing to balance. So until then, I've got some little things that I'm going to post. I am going to be pulling back from the YouTube channel a bit, so I'm probably going to be posting one thing a week, maybe two on certain weeks, but more like one thing a week. You're welcome to join the Discord. There's a handful of active users in here. We like to talk about this mod and just concepts. We talk a lot about Path of Exile 2 in the past month or so. And we've been talking about my other mod is Saltguard, which is a mod for Salt and Sacrifice, the prequel to Salt and Sanctuary, which I was able to previously make the enhanced version, as well as the enhanced game mode, which does a big balance patch for the game that I think 8 to 9 out of 10 people really enjoy. As well as Saltguard is now a mod that has been revived from the dead for Salt and Sacrifice, is trying to attempt an alternative vision, but simultaneously focus a major bit on some balance for that game as well. So the Diablo 2 mod and the Salt and Sacrifice mod are going to be the primary things that the channel is probably going to focus on for a while, with some little things intertwined in there, maybe a rant or two. And, maybe I'll even do some mono game tutorials again. Who knows? We'll see where I go with it all. But the channel is still just about modding. It's about game mechanics. It's about just moving forward as a modern game developer as well. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed just hearing me talk about the mod. If you need to know more about the mod, there are links below. There's many pages of changes to the mod. So there's an overview that covers more of the big stuff. And then there's a full page that's like, I think it's like 25, 30 pages long if you were to print it out. So until next time, take care.